guys were wondering, well, not really wondering why we were painting our faces every 30 minutes, but, you know, it just goes to show because, you know, I think it's 5 seconds, 15 minutes, little off. But every 15 minutes, somebody dies from texting and driving or some kind of, you know, traffic accident. And every 30 minutes, we decided that we were going to paint one of our faces and just show you how serious that is. I mean, it's funny, it's a joking matter, yeah, because it was just something fun to do. But it is serious, and it is something that we decided as a group to talk about. But that's what we're going to talk about today, and introducing, this is my mother. Her name is Kelly, and she's going to share one of her stories with you guys. So.
Alright, I guess first off, my first one is not so much about texting and driving, it's about drinking and driving, making a horrible choice. So I was about 16, and who don't like going out to the creek, you know, getting drunk and having a party, yeah? Good choice? Wrong.
Every day.
Yeah. Don't think about the consequences, you know, we all, as teenagers, we live in the now. So me and my buddies, we take off, we're hooting and hollering, having a good old time. Well, just like every other teenager, curfew time. Woo! It's time to go back to the house. So none of us want to drive drunk, you know. Hey, I know. Let's get the guy that bought us all the alcohol to drive us home. So we all take off. Me and 8 of my friends, and one of my friends, he drove out there on a motorcycle, and we stuck it in the back end. All we had was a single cab, you know, old 69 Chevy. 6 of us squeezed up in the front end. We put 2 in the back and a motorcycle. And this dude was driving crazy. We had this windy, you know, road. Nobody's wearing seatbelts, you know. You can't do that with 6 people in the cab. And he decided to turn the headlights off. He's swerving, driving on the wrong side of the road, and we're all freaking out and hollering. About that time, here comes a car, the opposite direction. Turns the headlights on and starts overcorrecting. We're going probably 80, 90 mile an hour, way too fast. And he swerved to miss the vehicle. Then here comes straight on to a whole bunch of trees and a big old sign, like one of them slow down, too curvy, 20 mile an hour signs. I almost took that out. So he overcorrected again, and next thing we know, we start flipping, cartwheel flipping. I think on the first to flip, the people in the back and the motorcycle flew out the vehicle. My best friend at the time, her name was Charity, is totally disfigured for the rest of her life. She went flipping, hit the concrete, and skidded, you know, skipping rocks. It just mangled her whole side of her face. Turned her into hamburger meat, pretty much. The motorcycle came across a tree, split it in half, ripped his whole motorcycle in 2. And the guy that was on the motorcycle, he was hurt pretty bad, but not near as bad as Charity. So the 6 of us are still left, flipping, just cartwheel flipping through this field. And about five other ones were flung out of the vehicle. My best friend, the other best friend at the time, was laying on the dash. We're cartwheel flipping, and all I could see was all like in slow motion. She's fixing to go out the front windshield. It's all shattered. There was a big old massive oak tree about, you know, 60 inches around, 70. We go to flipping it. All I could see was her face hitting that oak tree. And so I just grabbed the hold of her legs, threw myself on the floor, went like that. It stopped her from going up, but next thing we know, that truck was just wrapped around that whole tree. And we ended up walking away. The driver of the vehicle, it chopped off his arm. He is totally disfigured for the rest of his life. Not only does he not have an arm, but he has this huge hole in his head about the size of a $50, a little bigger. But you could almost see all the way through it, because the pieces of the truck just, he's lucky to be alive, because it, you know, pretty much tried to impale his brain. But we didn't think about the consequences. Nobody does. Hey, we're living in the now, right? Let's go out, woo, party it up. And you know, drinking and driving is a serious thing, but you know what's also worse than that? Letting somebody else drive you drunk. We all say, hey, I got the keys, I'm not driving, this is all cool. But what's the condition of the person you're letting drive you around, drive you home? It's not a good deal, especially not with people with no seatbelts. Had we been real on our seatbelts, could have been better, could have been worse, but 6 in a cab ain't never good. That's about all I got to say with that one.
Give her a hand, guys.
Alright guys, so I'll just start out by saying basically when you're texting and driving, you're 23 times more likely to crash than if you were just driving. And 71% of teens say that they have texted and drive, yes. And it's a big deal. I mean, I've had personal experience with it. One of my close family friends died because of texting and driving. And basically, whenever you crash, you could either go up and over the dashboard and through the windshield, or you could be ejected out of the side window, or you could be pushed underneath the car where your legs go. And there's seatbelt. Like, lots of people think that maybe a seatbelt won't help, but what a seatbelt does, it goes like right through here, girls, okay?
Sure.
That could be awkward, but it's meant to like keep all the momentum. Like, it needs to go to the strongest part of your body, which is the chest and the pelvis. And some people think, well, the airbag will save me. That's not what an airbag is for. Okay, if you get hit from the side, that airbag is not going to help. It is just meant to shield your face. And when you're not wearing your seatbelt, you'll keep on going how fast the car is going whenever you crashed. You will go 70 miles through a windshield. And there was a girl named Jackie. She was in the passenger seat of her car while she was driving, and not while she was driving, but one of her friends was driving, and a drunk driver hit her, and this is what she looked like before.
And the screen down.
Like that? Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright. And the car caught fire, and she had third-degree burns over 60% of her body, and that's what she looks like now.
Ooh.
So, I mean, it's a serious thing. I mean, especially if you're the person who crashed into someone, and to make them live like that now, I mean, I wouldn't want to. And her medical bills, she stopped counting at $5 million. Like, she has to pay that much money for medical bills. And we think that it'll like never happen to us, but it could happen to anyone. It happened to my best friend. It happened to my aunt's best friend, you know. And I mean, it's just something you have to think about because, you know, you don't know when it'll happen, but it definitely can. Good?
All right, me and Gavin are gonna do sort of a demonstration. But it's gonna freak you dudes out quite a bit. But it's about seatbelts and what happens when you don't wear your seatbelt. All right. Well, how do you drive a car? All right. Is that it? You don't put your seatbelt on first? No, you don't. He doesn't wear a seatbelt, okay?
It
So
went the other way though.
here, just stand up. But driving like that, first of all, here, put your hands on the steering wheel, like you do. Just like that?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Alright. But driving like this, first off, if he goes to, and he's going towards something and he realizes, he looks down for just a second, looks back up, and he realizes he's fixing to wreck into something, what are you going to do? You're going to get away from it. What if it's too late and you look up and you're immediately right there? What are you going to do?
Jesus, take the wheel and shoot.
You're going to go through the windshield. If he grabs the wheel like this, that's not going to help anything. It's just going to break all your bones
So you just let go?
in your arms. No, you put your seatbelt on. That's what you do.
Oh, yeah.
But most guys, you know, you like to drive chillaxed and, sort of comfortable, I don't know how to really explain it, but you like to drive your comfortable way. But if you're sloping in your seat, go ahead and sit how you were just sitting. Kind of like that, yeah. If you're not wearing your seatbelt and that doesn't catch your pelvis bone, you're going to slide right under there, and you're going to hit your knees on the dash, and the first thing that's going to do is it's going to take your femur bone, and it's going to shove it into your pelvis bone right back there, and it's going to completely shatter it. And what that does is it makes your downstairs part not work ever again. I'm not even joking you. I mean, nerves are damaged. You will not be able to use anything from your waist down. I mean, you won't even be able to feel it. So, I mean, if there's ever a reason to wear your seatbelt, that is one of them. Trust me, you want to wear your seatbelt.
I got a trick. Go landing on
But moving away from that subject, if she talked about 3 different ways you can go. You can go out your side window, you can go over the dash, or you can go under. Under the dash, you can totally break everything below. Above it, if you're going 70 miles an hour and your head smacks that windshield, it's going to be like a watermelon. It's not even going to stand a chance, because you can take a gun and shoot a windshield, and sometimes it just ricochets right off, depends how far you are. But going outside of it, I mean, your whole body flying out, it's going to hit whatever's right next to it. And usually, if you're driving on the highway, there's a car right next to you, you're gone. You don't stand a chance against a car. But it's designed to keep you inside of the car. It's not designed to hurt you or anything. It's not designed to keep you safe. It's designed to keep you right where you're at so you don't move at all. Right? Because Mr. French probably knows all about the motion and gravity and whatever. But, yeah, Newton's first law. But other stuff, drinking and driving, that's an issue. Not wearing your seatbelt, texting, because so many people get in car wrecks for no reason that can be prevented. I mean, I'm not trying to lecture you guys, and I'm not trying to say this is another cliche spiel about texting and driving, because it's not. It's me just being honest and telling you guys that we have all got up here and we thought about it and we're like, this is an issue. I mean, our parents, if you drive with your mom and dad, how many mom and dads you ride with them, to go to the store and they're sitting there texting and driving halfway there? I mean, my mom does it. She's right over there. She'll tell you she does it. No, my dad does it.
Dad does it worse than I do.
Yeah, he does. A lot. But, we're not the only ones, but we can be an example and we can be something different and actually make a difference because, like I said, I say seatbelt rule and I put my phone in the console. It's done. Just so if I feel it in my pocket, it's not a temptation. That could be something that helps you, taking your phone out and putting it in the console. So if you feel it vibrate, you're like, well, you didn't feel it. It's in the once again, my mother, she's going to share another story.
All right, this one is a texting and driving story. I used to be, or still am sort of, a pipeline surveyor. And then me and my crew member headed out, about 7:30 in the morning, driving down the middle of the road, down the interstate in Texas, right? So that's like 70 mile an hour speed limit, so you're driving 80, right? No one drives speed limit, especially in a hurry to work. So we're driving down the road way too fast, and I'm not paying attention. I've got work on the mind, how to set up the day for the day. And I've got my knee on the steering wheel, steering. Got my phone in my hand and my data collector, which is pretty much a little handheld mini computer. And I've got both of them going on, not paying attention to where I'm going at all, at about 80 miles an hour. And got on, you got down the interstate, you got 2 lanes this way, 2 lanes that way. And I'm trying to read off all these coordinates, northing and eastings, to my crew member, which he should have been doing it all, and it should have been me driving. So I'm reading all this stuff off to him, and he needs to tell somebody else on the phone what we're doing and where's going on. And about that time, I look up, and I'm coming over into the opposite lane. There are 2 cars going about the same mile, about 80, 85 mile an hour beside me. I've run them off the road. They're blowing their horns and doing all kinds of craziness. So luckily they didn't wreck. So I overcorrect. I jerk the wheel, take off, and I'm going down through the comedian. And I'm coming towards head-on, 2 lanes of traffic coming straight at me, 70+ mile an hour. I'm freaking out. Oh no! And I got stuff in the trucks just flying around. Not wearing my seatbelt. Neither is my crew member. Got all kinds of stuff flying around. My crew member gets hit in the head with a, I don't know you know what a GPS dome is. Hit him in the back of the head. Broke my dome, which was about $10,000. When I jerked the wheel back the other way, got a big rover rod. Looks like it's got a point on it, about like that. Jabs through the whole back seat of where I was sitting. It could have come through and hit me all the way. And I jerk it, trying to get it back up on the highway. And just about the time I get to the blacktop, tire blows out. So now I'm going way too fast. No tire, no seat belts. All this equipment that's really sharp could kill me. And then my crew member flying around, jabbing seats and hitting people in the head. And this whole time, had I not been driving with my knee at 80 miles an hour with my telephone in my hand and a data collector in the other, paying attention to what was going on, I put everybody else's life in jeopardy. And that could have waited. I could have pulled over the shoulder of the road, turned my survey lights on, and been just fine. They could have saw me, but no. I'm 80 miles an hour, and I can do this, and I gotta get to the job site. Man, those people that I ran off the road, just like them, I could have killed them, and I wasn't thinking about it at all. I wasn't thinking about my crew member's life and his little kids, that he was supporting. You really need to think about that. You don't know all those people that they killed, they all have a family that has to pick up their lives and keep on going after the glass stops breaking. So it's really important. I mean, everyday things that you think, hey, I can do this. I got this. And you think that would make me stop texting and driving? I still do every now and then. I try not to. Zach tells me, stay alive, don't text and drive. Which is true, But you never know. It just takes that 1 second, and it changes everybody's life. And what the horrible thing is, the ones that stay alive, that you kill somebody, you gotta live with that. You gotta live with that guilt. So I just don't do it.
Alright, I guess we're cutting it early, but it's pretty much blunt in what we have to say. But if we'll all stand up, I have a question for all of you guys. Yeah, stand up, y'all. What we want to know, sit down. What all of us want to know is if you guys will help set the example, because it starts with somebody. Somebody has to be a leader in order for everybody else to change their thoughts and decisions, right? I mean, it always starts with that thought of, well, maybe I should start doing this, and then they'll start doing this, and maybe I can save some lives. Or that person's doing it, so why shouldn't I? A lot of people have that mentality. We decided, why don't we make a difference, and why don't we see by the end of next year, we can get all of Neosho. I mean, it's a big grasp, but we can do it. I feel like if we all decided to put our seatbelts on, or all started saying, quit doing that, quit texting and driving, or quit being so distracted about other things because my life is worth it. Riding with somebody else that's totally distracted and not paying attention to anything, they could kill you. Is your life worth that? That's the question. Is your life worth somebody else's enjoyment or your own enjoyment? So I just want a raising of hands. Who's going to make a difference, and who's going to stop being so ignorant behind the wheel and decide to put on their seatbelt or decide to put down their phone until they get to the spot they're going to? I've made the decision. I mean, be honest.
Raise your hand, yeah. You're a part of this.
I mean, it's a serious thing. It really is.
Of course he would touch me.
Of course.
After all, you do know best. fast his